So Monique, as you know, the Kidney Foundation has created a unique online platform called the Kidney Wellness Hub, and it's there to support the physical, the mental, and the social well-being of patients living with chronic illnesses, their care partners, and living donors. And I know it's something that you said you've checked out or taken a look at. And I'm wondering, what are your initial thoughts on it?
I haven't dug super deep in terms, because not all of it applies to my personal, but I have looked at certain things for patients, and I subscribe to the newsletter, which I love. I love seeing what's going on, and some of the times I'm like, oh, that's actually really interesting. Or I think you guys have done art classes or things where, you know, different things to get people involved, not feeling so lonely.
It's really therapy, but we have an extra superpower and an extra tool, which is art making. So we're not just talking to you when we're going through a therapeutic session. We're actually asking you to, create art, to, destroy art, to build art, to create together. And we feel like that offers another perspective to whatever issues we're trying to deal with or talk through.
When you're in a regular therapy session, it's kind of just like one-on-one. So it's the therapist and the client talking back and forth. Obviously in a group setting, it's more than that. But with the art, you have like a bit of like a triangle. So you're in dialogue with the person, but you're also in dialogue with the art. And then you can ask questions to the art and about the art. And it creates a really interesting way to hold whatever you're working on that session, whatever emotion, if it's fun, if it's play. It just adds this other element to the art therapy group.
I wish they had stuff like that back when I was diagnosed with diabetes, because you do feel very alone, and I think you guys have created a nice community there where people can reach out and get good information about exercise and diet. And I saw some of the recipes on there, and the exercise snacks, which I think was fantastic. Essentially what I've been saying too is start small. It doesn't have to be a marathon. It could just be a small little chunk of exercise at different times. Yeah, I think the Wellness Hub is amazing. I refer people there all the time. I think it's needed.
Monique, what are 3 top tips you might share to help people manage their chronic conditions such as diabetes or kidney disease?
I think the biggest ones come back to the emotional piece of it. Don't beat yourself up. You know, there's a lot of pieces to it, and nobody expects you to walk in being an expert. If they do, they don't know what they're talking about. You know, it's okay to be mad, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to grieve the loss of what you thought you'd have at that moment. It's okay to feel those things. Don't hide them, don't feel ashamed of them. You know, you're only gonna move past them if you sort of accept it and try to work through it. So reach out to the people in your life, ask for help, ask help from your team. That's kind of the big piece for I would say mental health aspect, is that can be the piece that makes or breaks you, right? If you're mentally overwhelmed and unable to learn, let's say, or unable to accept those changes that are coming, every piece of it's just going to be harder and harder. Don't be ashamed to be upset about your situation. You definitely are not alone. I'm sure most people are also in that same boat where I know, because I see the other side of it, where people come in crying or angry or whatever, and we work through it. But you know, it's normal, and don't shame yourself for feeling that way. And there is definitely help and people who understand. I'm still learning, and I've been working in dialysis for over 11 years, and there's always things changing, and everyone feels differently about it, and every scenario is just that little bit different. So don't beat yourself up about what you don't know, because it will come when you need it. And if you don't know, ask for help. There's definitely people. So I tell people, look at your life and what is one little thing. Can you stand at the back of a chair and do squat just a little bit? Or can you do some exercises while you're watching TV or reading a book? Can you stretch your legs, do some little things, just little things that aren't going to change your entire day. They're not going to be a burden. They're not going to derail what you're already doing. It's just while you're sitting there doing something else, can you add a little bit in? And then once that becomes easy, go from there.